Hey there, TouchDesigner programmers, Matthew here. So we've got an exciting, fun thing to share here today from Mir.works. So 4 years ago, I started putting together these collection of instancing examples on GitHub. And it was an interesting kind of way to explore lots of different ideas, how instancing works, and how we can take advantage of a few different exciting techniques from across the board, working with SOPs, working with chops, working with tops, you name it. Well, fast forward 4 years, and it was time to revisit that particular repo. It had accumulated a lot of exciting and interesting stuff over the years, but it was a little bit of, mousing around in the network to try and figure out what was going on. So we've given it a facelift. Here I've downloaded the repo already, and I'm going to go ahead and fire it up. And what you should see right away is that now, instead of starting off in the TouchDesigner network, we start with an open project in perform mode. And part of the reason that we do that is it kind of nicely gives us a way to cleanly see everything at a glance. So we'll see here as this fires up that on our left-hand side, we've got a list of examples that we can click through. We have a little README pane that lets me actually see what's going on in this particular example. And then we have a live view of the actual example that we're looking at. So on the left-hand side, as we click through these examples, we'll see that the text updates along with them. So each of these has its own unique README. And the rendering example on the right-hand side also updates along with us. Mac users, I'm very sorry, there's a small bug that I uncovered in this process, which is that the portion that's doing the little rendering for our README down here, you might not have this scroll bar. That's okay. There's a built-in feature, and not only for Mac users, but for all users, which is that if you find that this is not quite enough real estate for reading what's happening, you can use this little button here in the middle, looks like a little globe, and it will launch that same README right in your browser. So if you want to have that side by side, or you want to put that on another monitor, you can keep that open while you're kind of browsing through the examples, and you've got a bigger place to kind of look at what's happening. Another exciting piece of what's happening here is that you can also jump to an example of the network itself. So if you want to see how the network is built that actually is driving this particular instancing example, if you click right here on network, this will open up a floating window that jumps you right into that actual TouchDesigner portion, or that exact TouchDesigner network, to see what's happening. And this can be helpful for all sorts of situations, right? Like, okay, cool, I see how you're doing with this with SOPs. With a script shop, what's that all about? Well, we can jump right to the network and see what's happening here. Also handy here on our little Explorer is that if you want to get rid of some of these pieces that you've already viewed, you can collapse them so that you don't have to look at all of them at the same time. So, I'm hoping that this is a kind of exploration and a new way of thinking about how we can use TouchDesigner interfaces, both as teaching tools, but as communication tools for this kind of work. There's some interesting fun stuff with the web render DAT that's making all of this fun stuff happen here over on the left-hand side. And a little bit of widgets and lister here that makes this lovely little menu piece work. Like other projects in the past, this is all built out of TouchDesigner components. So if you hit the escape key, you can actually jump right into the network to both see how the navigator itself was built. So maybe there's some piece in here you want to borrow for a project or for some course that you're teaching. You're an instructor who wants to actually put together a set of examples. By all means, take this apart, figure out how to use it and how to make it your own. Or maybe you want to just see the examples themselves, and you can jump right in to see how the examples are organized. I'm hoping that this is a kind of opportunity not only to get excited about instancing, but to explore all of the different techniques that have started to emerge over the years. It's my hope that I'll be able to kind of continue building on this collection and build it in a way that's a little more easy to navigate and has the companion documentation that's easier to follow along than just kind of trying to jump from network to network to network. I hope everyone is surviving this strange time well, and from everyone at Mir.works, we're excited to share this lovely little piece with all of you to explore, experiment with, and take apart. Happy programming, everyone.